Hello Drive Radio fans, Richard Rush here today with my dad John Rush behind the camera, and today we are going to take a look at the 2015.5 Volvo V60 all-wheel drive with the R design on it. And just to clarify, the 2015 and a half, all that changes is, which actually means the car was produced after June of 2014, and the only things it changes is actually it changes some of the optional features and standard features, kind of move some of those around. So if you'd like some more information on that, head to Volvo's website, check that out. There's too many to name in this short little review. But let's take a look around the car. We'll go from there. The first thing you'll notice here is the front grille and also the R design, which, a quick note on that, the R design is the sportier package for Volvo. Gives you a different steering wheel, different wheels, a sportier suspension, adds a few different features for that. Overall, this car, we say this a lot, this car works well. Let me elaborate on that. Very smooth to drive, drives over the road well, is very quiet, and we actually drove a T5 version of this, and in my opinion, this car works very well. Even with the sportier suspension, you don't notice a rougher ride or anything by any means. One addition they've added is a bigger engine, which is what the T6 gets you. You'll drop fuel economy, which actually we've been able to average right about 23 to 24 miles per gallon, even with the all-wheel drive, which Volvo rates it right around the 22 miles per gallon range. But overall, this car honestly operates efficiently. We like to kind of say this when we get a car, you don't expect it. When you get on this car and those turbos activate, wow, is it amazing. Honestly, it's a little rocket once you get on it, once you get driving this car. There's plenty of cargo room in the back. A downgrade that I would say that this car has, which we'll show you as we get into the interior portion, is the rear seat doesn't have a lot of leg room for the passengers. Not a big knock, but something that you've got to notice. And we will kind of point this out here as we come around the back again and show you the styling. It is a wagon. Forgot to mention that, but I'm sure as you saw as we went down, styling takes some getting used to, but overall I've kind of grown on it, whether that's because I'm about to get married, kind of start a family, that sort of thing. Really don't mind the styling. I think it looks very nice. Love the red color, by the way. Think it gives it a very aggressive, sporty feel. Love the overall package with it. But with that, let's go take a drive, kind of show you how this car operates, and we'll come back and do the interior. All right, everyone, we're in the driving portion for the 2015 and a half Volvo V60 all-wheel drive. R design. We'll try and show you some of the interior features in the driving portion. It's a little bit easier to do that. You can see the center stack. Again, Volvo's kind of specific center stack. We've been able to get used to this a lot more as we've had the car, as we've had other cars. Again, you kind of can see the different buttons. I like how it has designated buttons, or dedicated I should say, for specific functions. For example, radio, media, nav, telephone, which again on this T6 with the R design, the 2015 and a half T6, it does have the nav package installed, which again works very well. Volvo's system does work well. One thing I will comment on this car, on the rear, if you put it into reverse, well, it does give you sensors right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. If it does give you front and rear sensors right here, it does not give you the backwards camera. So I'm in reverse, can go backwards right now. Something that's going to be standard come 2016. So be on the lookout for that. Not a knock, just something to be aware of in this car. As we get driving here, we'll do our best to kind of show you some of the different features, and by that I mean some of the lane departure, the blind spot monitoring. And I say lane departure, this car does not have it. It does have the blind spot monitoring system on it, and actually does have the slow speed collision alert. So if you are going slower, this car will alert you. If you're just kind of going to roll into a car, it will kind of flash beep at you. Make sure you don't hit that car. We'll kind of turn the corner here, and we'll do our best to show you how this 325 horsepower engine works. But honestly, you get on it, and this car is a little rocket. And we're in neighborhoods, don't want to go too fast. Car works, it is tremendous. The engine works like you would expect it would, especially at our altitude. We've really noticed that you don't sense a lack of power, whereas in some cars you do with the turbo engine that's in this car, you don't sense that at all. You're never lacking for more, wanting more power by any means. Car is awesome to drive, a breeze to drive. Really have enjoyed it. But with that, we'll go back to the interior and give you a look through of how that looks like. All right, fans, we're back from the driving portion, and especially with this car, it's hard to show you kind of the turbo, how it feels on the road, how it rides. Get out, go to your local Volvo dealership and test drive this car out. But we're on the trunk here. We'll show you how it operates. It doesn't have an automatic trunk. It does have a nice little push button. You can hear it unlock. Doesn't take a lot of weight to lift the car up, or lift the trunk up, but it does open up nice and wide. You can get a lot of groceries. You will notice there's a privacy screen back here. Just push that forward, and you can see there's actually quite a bit of room back here. You don't notice it from the side. Volvo has done a great job of kind of integrating this entire back portion into the car, in my opinion. And obviously, again, the slots for the privacy hole back here for the kind of rear defrosters for the side windows. Works, honestly, this back space is a very workable cargo space. No automatic shut, which again is not a huge thing, but pull this down and you shut it. We'll point this out as we get into the back passenger seat here. This car, as it sits right here, is a tad under $50,000, about $49,000, which competes directly with the BMW 3 Series and the Audi A4, that series right there. You get a lot of features in this car. You also don't get some features, so make sure you check those out. But as you can see, all the way back, this front seat is all the way back. I'm 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", and you see kind of where the legroom is. There's not a lot. I mentioned that in the intro. There's not a lot of legroom here, which again, it's not a huge thing. Something to consider, though, as you are purchasing this car, if you're going to be toting around some larger people, whether it be adults or teenagers. Works well. The seat heaters back here is something that's definitely a plus on this car. Doesn't have climate control, but does have seat heaters. You notice the trim package right here, some nice kind of the chrome features here, the leather. This is a little bit plasticky right here. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more leather. One thing I will point out on this car, as you can see the vents right here, love the leather that Volvo has done. Very nice, soft, plush leather that they have put in here. Very comfortable to sit in. These seats are very comfortable. With that, we'll kind of head around to the front. All right, fans, we're now in the front portion of the car, kind of the cockpit area, you can say. Volvo has done a great job of this. With our first Volvo, we were a little skeptical of this infotainment system, which we kind of talked about in the driving portion, but the more you drive it, the more you get used to it, which is the same with a lot of different cars. But on the interior, great features. They've done a lot of different things in terms of making things uniform right here. If you'll notice, you have your volume knob, your tune knob, and then you have your dual climate controls. It's a very symmetrical sort of system that they've put into place. If you'll notice right here, the shift knob is specific to the R design, adds some of those features, and it's hard to see here, but you have the R design kind of emblem right there on the bottom of the steering wheel, which again is an addition on this package. As you can see, the Volvo speedometer, how they've done that, some of the different lighting controls over here, and I will kind of turn on the key for you here just so you can see what that looks like when it starts on. And some very nice features here, which we're going to try and show you here, is you can actually cycle through a lot of different options. So I press the button over here, and it takes me out of the doors open, shows me the speedometer, but if I hit it one more time, I can do a lot of things. Select themes, color mode, the service status of it. You can change your trip computer. You can go all the way up and just get some messages that they have. Let's go into the themes really quick. I'll click that, and you can actually see as it switches. So I'm in the Elegance. If I go to Eco, you can see it changes. It changes the RPMs and actually gives me an Eco guide over here on the left hand side, if you can see it. I go to Performance, and it's going to give me things such as power on that right hand side, and it's going to actually change my center stack to saying, instead of miles per hour, which you can see the 0 there, it's actually going to give me a better idea of my RPMs. And we'll kind of go back to Elegance. I tend to prefer that. Just hit it and you're there. So some very cool features there. And again, the infotainment system itself, we went through in the driving portion. It's hard to show you what the driver sees in the driving portion. Obviously, we're wanting to be safe, but overall, very comfortable seats. I like them. These are the more sporty seats, again, with the R design. They hold you in your seat. One thing I will show you, and Dad, if you can show them on that side, I like how Volvo is in the blind spot monitoring over there on the side. It's a very subtle thing that you can look over and see. It's not on the mirrors, it's right there in your field of vision, so you're not having to turn your head to get it. Volvo is all about safety. They've done a lot of different safety things with their cars, and they've done them very well. A couple last points we'll show you here is this is plastic right here. This is plastic for $49,000. I'd like to get a little bit more leather, maybe kind of leather wrap this front console area. Would like to see that again with the soft leather that Volvo does put into place here. Really love how they do that. Would like that to kind of be wrapped over into more of the door, more over into the center console. But again, not a knack for them, or not a con, just something that personally for $50,000 I'd like to see. But with that, we appreciate your time for the review. If you'd enjoyed this review, check out our other reviews, and also if you enjoyed this specific car, again the 2015.5 Volvo V60 all-wheel drive, head to your local Volvo dealer and tell them that John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you. All right, fans, we're going to do our opinion portion of the 2015.5 Volvo V60 all-wheel drive R design. Kind of a mouthful there. Overall, really like this car. I know we say that in a lot of cars, but specifically this car. Very high safety ratings. Fuel economy, if you drive this car carefully enough, I don't imagine you could get in the area of 24.5 to 25 miles per gallon, and then it has the necessary power there when you need to get up and go. Love this car. It was a blast to drive. The pros for me are that the interior safety wise. The con for me is the back seat, not very roomy, especially if you have kids or if you're going to go on a date with another couple. Definitely would like to see more room there for the segment. However, the trunk does provide a lot of room, especially in this wagon style. Styling, drivability, fuel economy, safety, all of those are huge pluses in my book for this car. Really enjoyed driving. It was a fun car. Would highly recommend this car for a family. If you're single, if you just enjoy it, if you enjoy safety, which I know has been Volvo's thing for a long time, is the safety portion of it. Really like this car, and there's not much else to say. Really did enjoy this car, and again, thanks for joining us for this review. All right, Drive Radio fans, thank you for joining us for our latest review. If you like this review, check out our website, drive-radio.com. We have a lot of cars, tips, and tricks that you can find on there if you're a car lover like ourselves. If you like the website, like our reviews, head to the YouTube page, Drive Radio, no spaces. You can check out a lot of our other reviews there. If you like those reviews, we have a radio show set every Saturday from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. here in the Denver market. You can find us one of three ways. First way is on the website, which is 560thesource.com. You can find us on YouTube. We stream every episode live. Or you can check us out on the TuneIn app, which is just 560 The Source. You can download that straight to your phone. But thank you for joining us. We appreciate all your feedback, all your views.